Come on, there we go. Anyway, I'll get back to that in a minute. Hello everybody. Just I'm a little bit preoccupied at the moment, so hi and welcome to Godzilla Month. Welcome back to Godzilla Month. So what are we looking at today? Well, we are looking at Godzilla versus his evil twin brother from space, or otherwise known as Godzilla versus Space Godzilla. So our movie starts with a meeting on how Japan is going to deal with Godzilla this time. One idea is to build a robot from the Mechagodzilla, which was destroyed in the last film, to build a new fighting robot called Mulgira. This robot has been in a Japanese monster film before, way back in 1959 with a movie called The Mysterions, in which it looked like this. So yeah, the new version is a bit of a step up. Anyway, the other plan is to take control of Godzilla, and I am not joking here, to control Godzilla with telepathy.
Yay! We'll plant a telepathy amplifier on the back of its head and amplify what it responds to. Then we can control it. Then we can save the world.
Bullshit.
Look, without your cooperation, we'll have to use one of them.
Please, you can't. You see, none of my trainees are skilled enough yet. And using telepathy is very dangerous.
Because it doesn't exist! Anyway, two guys are being... Oh, Jesus.
You're pretty happy today.
What?
I said you're pretty happy today.
Yeah, why not? I got nothing to worry about. Woo!
Japanese acting, everyone. Anyway, these two guys are named Shinjo and Sato, and are sent to Infant Island where Godzilla lives to help set up Project T. While they're there, they find these strange crystal craters, but before they can take a better look, they're ambushed by this guy named Yuki. But actually he saved them from being bitten by a spider. However, it turns out Yuki isn't alone on this island, and he keeps on getting followed by... Okay guys, get your cute aww ready.
Whoa!
Not again.
What's that?
Little Godzilla.
Yes, this is little Godzilla. Godzilla's son. Then isn't he just the cutest atomic-breathing radioactive giant lizard that'll just grow up and kill us all? Isn't he just adorable? Anyway, back in Japan, NASA meet up with the Japanese because some weird stick is happening in the International Space Station.
I don't know. We've never had this happen before.
What's going on?
It's no use. All the controls, they're gone.
NASA wasn't able to come up with an explanation of what happened here. We can only speculate that it was some sort of huge monster.
Okay, that's your first explanation. That's the first conclusion you come up to. Some kind of giant monster. I mean, how often does he use that as an excuse? Hey, why doesn't my controller work?
It was some sort of huge monster.
Who ate my sandwich?
It was some sort of huge monster.
Why does this comic suck?
It was some sort of huge monster.
Well, you're kinda right. After that, the two fairies from Mothra come down to warn Mickey, not that Mickey, that a monster is on its way to kill Godzilla. Why?
If Godzilla is killed, Earth can be easily conquered.
Do I need to repeat myself from Godzilla vs. Gigan? Anyway, we cut back to the others where Yuki goes on about how he's going to kill Godzilla. We then... Why are you watching him shower? Oh, let's move on. So, after that, the Japanese find out that some giant monster is heading towards Earth and they send Mulgera out to destroy it. While that's happening, the Project T people land on the island to set up shop, but uh-oh, little Godzilla has set off the tear gas mines. This is kinda cruel if you think about it. However, this does attract Dad. So, while the Project T guys rush to set things up, Yuki tries to kill Godzilla by shooting a bullet for the blood coagulant into Godzilla's weak point, which is his armpit. Why not? While that is going on, Mulgera reaches the monster and they have a space dogfight, and Mulgera gets his ass kicked and ends up being lost in space. Then the monster lands on the island and starts attacking little Godzilla. Then big Godzilla shows up and the two have a fight. But things don't go well and Godzilla ends up losing and the monster kidnaps his little son. But things don't go well and Godzilla ends up losing and the monster kidnaps his little son. So they decide to leave. But Mickey, Shinjo and Sato stay behind because they're worried about Godzilla. Or something. Well, after that, the scientists look at Godzilla's DNA and the DNA of the monster.
And on the left are the skin cells from the space monster. The space monster has exactly the same G cells. Therefore, we named it Space Godzilla.
They're the same?
Seriously, that's the best name you could come up with? Space Godzilla? That doesn't sound threatening at all!
Godzilla's flesh attached to Mothra. One of these cells must have been swallowed by a black hole and pushed out from a white hole. It grew very quickly in its own evolutionary system, much faster than expected. It assimilated crystal organisms and was exposed to tremendous energies from the explosions of stars. And finally, the most horrific monster was born. That's the theory.
Of course! Don't you know anything about science?
Well, after that, we find that the G-Force have recovered Mulgera and they're upgrading him. They also give Yuki the job of pilot. Back on the island, Mickey gets kidnapped by the Japanese mafia. Yes, you heard me. Because they want to take control of Godzilla because he still has a telekinetic amplifier on, so he can do mafia things. I guess as a plan, it's really, really stupid, but points for creativity. Well, Yuki and the others go off to save Mickey as Space Godzilla starts attacking Fukuoka. Grow up. Well, the mafia's plan doesn't work. What a shock. And Yuki and the others rescue Mickey. Bullshit! Well, Mickey is saved just before Space Godzilla flies over, destroying the Japanese mafia. This has been an entirely pointless subplot. So let's get to the thing we came for, monsters fighting. And that's what we get. Space Godzilla lands and grows his own crystal fortress, giving him a massive power boost. While this is going on, Yuki and the others suit up and take control of Mulgera, and also Godzilla is on his way. However, Yuki's obsession with Godzilla takes hold, and instead of going after Space Godzilla, he heads off to attack Godzilla. You know, it's kind of a dumb idea to put a mentally scarred obsessive man in the controls of an enormous tank. Well, it doesn't matter because Shinjo knocks him out and takes control, and are first to arrive to attack Space Godzilla. But things quickly go bad and the crew will get knocked out. But Yuki wakes up and tells the others to retreat before Space Godzilla can finish them off. Soon after they leave, Godzilla shows up and they fight. that's going on, Sato manages to fix the entire Mulgira, all of it, just in the cockpit, and the two split up into a jet fighter and the mole from Thunderbirds. And they find out Godzilla is destroying the crystals because they give Space Godzilla his power by absorbing the energy from the tower.
Godzilla's smarter than we thought.
So yeah, Godzilla is smarter than an entire military force. No wonder he always wins. Anyway, Godzilla knocks down the tower while Space Godzilla is distracted with the jet fighter. So that leaves Space Godzilla with no power source, and Mulgira joins up for the final battle. It's 2 against 1. Oh, and the two girls have come over to the island because it seems like a really stupid idea. Seems to be a lot of those in this movie. Anyway, Mulgira blows up one of Space Godzilla's shoulder crystals, and that just pisses off Space Godzilla and he cuts off one of his arms. Then Mulgira blows up the other crystal, which just pisses off Space Godzilla even more, and he impales him, basically taking Mulgira out of the fight. So with Mulgira out, it's up to Godzilla to save the day, of course. And of course he does. He beats Space Godzilla by using his hyper beam, which also destroys Mulgira as well. So Godzilla heads for home, little Godzilla is freed, Yuki gets over his obsession with Godzilla, the useless telekinetic amp gets removed, and we end with this.
But what the hell was it?
A monster. Developed from the genes of G cells. If the universe is polluted, well then, another space monster will arrive pretty soon.
Yes! Yes! This whole thing has been an environmental message all along. A giant cosmic monster was here to warn us about pollution. Good God, why didn't they just end the movie like this?
But what the hell was it?
A monster. Developed from the genes of G cells. If the universe is polluted, well then, another space monster will arrive pretty soon.
Buy the new Toyota Prius. This movie is very average. The acting, the plot, the special effects are all average. The monster suits look really good. Space Godzilla definitely has a presence on screen. However, Godzilla seems to be pushed to the sidelines so they can show off Mulgira. So really, if you're a Godzilla fan, you need to watch this because it builds up for the next film, which we'll be looking at next time. So stay tuned for the last Godzilla film of the second series. Now, if you excuse me, I've got some work to do.
Up from the depths, 30 stories high, breathing fire, his head in the sky. Godzilla, 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 and Godzilla.
Why aren't you working properly? What do I need to do to fix you? It's some kind of interference or it's just stopping me from oh. God.
Oh, am I getting to you already? Good night.
You're just a voice in my head. I can ignore you, blot you out.
You still believe it, don't you? It's only when someone's scared of what they don't know is when they say it's not real. Ha! I know what I'm getting to you.
You're not real. There is nothing about you that is real. You are just a figment of my imagination, here to mess me up for some reason. My mind is playing tricks on me. I've done something in the past, and it's just a voice in my head. You are not real. You do not exist. You cannot hurt me or my friends in any way. You do not exist.
Yes, I am